Good afternoon. Ngasi BPSC post 132 gi Indian Government and Politics ki Block 3 Institutions ki Unit 7 da Legislature haiba parazi ngasi koi ngasi nainazi Legislature haiba zi koi gi maroina institutions ahum ko koi executive legislature aduga judiciary aduna ahum lai da legislature zina koi gi lori ba thodang zi koi gi law making koi gi leba ma ngang na gi Kanglon same by that, Apolonda. Law same bagi my primary role, see legislature and law one. I don't know introduction of Pina, young in a see Sagi legislation, execution, and adjudication of rules, their implementation and evaluation are important functions of a government. I don't know. Leva Amagi, Lengaxina, Tawada, Pataki Maru, Mato dancing in Marakta, legislation, I don't know, law semba. Aduga haiba law dugu sanahanba madu mathau pangthonba aduga madudagi thorokpa wayet nyam dugi asumarani saira iba magi adugi adjudication ko of rules masigi kenosiga hayo myam si sanahalaga madugi afapata tatho sun yengaga matam matungina kogi hana sanaramba law su semdok semjin tawba ko kogi Talking about Natraga, Noble, Sim of Panatraga, Hana, Sanamba, Lucy, Quagi, Crashambo, Semin Tobo, Pasigi Miams, Quagi Lega, Naku, quite a Maru, but Todancing Manungsan way. In a democratic political system, these functions are performed by the legislature, executive, and judiciary, which function under the principles of check and balances. However, my Asagi, democratic political system, Niamna Lengak Saba, Adumba Lenga Patava Manunda. Haiba Tabak Tong Singasi, Langapagi Tabak Tong Singasi, Asadi, legislature, executive, Aduga judiciary, Haiba, Maruiba institutions, Ahum, Langapa the Sangba Maruiba institutions, Ahum Zina, or Pangtueva. Aduga Haiba Miansi, legislature, executive, judiciary, Ahum Sing Asagi, who exists over Kansta. Amana Amagi, Magi, Kayani, Tawungamba, Matozingzi. Yang to yang sinto whether a second balance amana kai and executive na power si amrana a kai na season ragazu madugi yaba yadawa madugi khayama kai ngak pasdai da kai judiciary as over role like kai judiciary review kai na kai mama na kai ne gi yawiba na mai to na legislature na zu ngasai gi law je semo pa kan da su ngasai gi law je hekta semaga madugi law du egoina kai ba it's another pass away away other than a single way to second balances for amana toriba activities Namsida, some around and Pafata, car, hendo, hands in late never can almost see Sanapatasi Manung the Yauzuri either. The nature of a political system or the government depends to a large extent on the relations and the functioning of these institutions. Adana Leva Amagi, Lenga to be Magi Momatosi, Amaito no, Adana Magi, Masasi Quina. Lengalong Masasi when a young Paganda, as I high institutions of Home Sigi, legislature, executive, Aduga judiciary, Home Sigi, Martalina, Marie, Aduga Macoina, Towa Tawak Tongi, Momados in Duna Lepiada, Highly Ladyba, any Leva Magi, Lengaxi, democratic Webra, Nadraga, dictatorial Webra, Natragana Wagi, autocratic Webra, Ali Tunga Magi, democratic way higher power than Masagi. Monarchy ni aduni adani but natraga su masagi democratic system mani haina claim tawra faw ta masagi how democratic aibagi kaino se haiba pagi lengaki organ maroiba hom sigi marakta lainaiba mari aduga maikogi thabak tawgi moma tawsin adana lep ya habsa the sharing of powers between the three organs of government is called separation of powers adana haiba organs ahom sigi pagi maroiba institutions ahom zina amana maga share tawnaba power si ngasai yenaraga ngasai amana ngamba khara amana ngamba mai area je khaido na kana dumaina pagi power sim si yenaraga pagi lenga pagi thabak thong si sathaba se masibu separation of powers and na pagi power si pagi yenthona ba hai thare ba dumaina thami hoji legislature aiba pagi law making body Supreme law making body is masigi matang na koina yengbada legislature I will say Latin word lex service they lakoni machine have the distinct kind of legal rule mainly of general application and the leva miyang yi sana na ba same badugumba saigi kangwon ai dare ko legal rule adugni aidana Latin word lex service they lower kanda legislature ai adugumba sana kanglon leva nga pa sana kanglon nga du same ba body to legislature ko yadana maina ko lakhe. This rule is named legislation and the institutions which enact it on behalf of the people is known as legislation. Adana rule making gi thabak sibuni legislation haibasi aduga haiba rule making toriba law semiba institutions sibuna saigi miyangi mahusilaga semi haidana masigi body sibuna institutions sibuna kana legislation na kawiba. Two models of legislative structure namely the parliamentary and presidential. I mean, legislature gi NOC magi mo mato salo saktam sawong singa sagi ani thongna lay amana parliamentary and presidential haidana India the scenario is na parliamentary system kawipa. Adana in parliamentary model the executive is selected by the legislature from among its own members, therefore the executive is responsible to the legislature. Adana parliamentary models the kamaita ganda executive haiba masagi maroiba main powers and functions exercise toriba kogi organs government organs masi krai dagi khallaga semgya kanda legislators indugi marakti sem aduna sai koina MLA sing board karaga MLA indugi marakti koina cabinet minister ga khanbagi type ko adumai tawna koi board state and union gi level da koi smaina koi sanari buken wasuni ko aduna ngasai executive si legislature ki kenosida ki khallaga semanina executive si kedoba legislature the responsible way executive no taiba thabak thong myam si magi kenosi legislature da masagi akoina tawriba si sini haidana lekhai ta na mari sum na masagi moida khanganba moina tawri si kayan bi yauli haibna singba du ki kenuma legislature the responsible way biduma maina whereas presidential systems in the presidential system is based on the theory of separation of powers and does not permit any person to serve simultaneously in both executive and legislature. Presidential system see masiduna masagi theory of separation of powers. Powers see yanthokpa yanthokna adana sidaida mi amana legislature gi paramasu weraga executive the subtaw sigi posting masagi same yard sidana presidential system sidana executive ki bodies the yawna executive ki yawba legislature ki saruk yawna legislature yawna mi amana executive the legislature the ani mag the yawni pose presidential systems like Indian legislature exists at two levels at the union level the parliament of India and state level which is for state legislatures. Parliament is the creation of the constitution is the supreme representative authority of the people. It is the highest legislative organ and the national forum for the articulation of public opinion. And a parliament has karigi the makta maru no have the samlana koina yang about parliament I supreme law making body in India seeing as I constitution in that same constitution makada my provisions in makada aduga Parliament is a supreme representative authority of the people who are the kind of Masagi, Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, bicameral labor. Two houses labor in Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha, Miam and Diani, what other can be using where Duba. Rajya Sabha, Magi, Council of States and labor, Lavasiki, one of my states in the Magi population size, Yanganda. Sagi moina more representative masing masusukan by the now by Rai Sabada mo by state representative like can masi posini is the highest legislative organ and the national forum for the articulation of public opinion. Masagi sina parliament gi wafam danidam parliament sing asagi highest legislative organ legislature have the masagi union level gi legislature parliament na mana finally wang bagan way aduga masi national forum for the articulation of public opinion having asagi actually ba miyamna kaygumba maroiba issue amada lebaki maru oina kan issue amada masagi ko phongdorpa aningba pamba ko masagi organize ba thousing ko madugi keno mamsi puthoraganda mo myam se puthoraganda ngasai gi khana nai na bagi keno ma so ba highest level gi keno national forum boina serve to our parliament adana hoje koina union legislature gi wafam jida mo kuthana yengba kanda man highest article 79 in makada parliament consists of the president and the two houses and apena parliament haga di saigi just lok sabha rajya sabha jina parliament se koi oira boina khale do the presidency su yaw we have see article 79 of the lok sabha is subject to dissolution while the rajya sabha is the permanent chamber which cannot be dissolved. The office of the president also never remains vacant. Adana parliament gi enosida khana na ra ko na hoji ure madudi parliament has the yaw the lok sabha rajya sabha as well as president. Adana lok sabha jidi asai ke do ba subject to dissolution. Ai ba house ani leibisda lok sabha ai ba parliament ki house di sai gi muthat pa ya kai gumba thibam na matang na ya da na sai gi muthat ta ya da ya ga ma je ko gi matang ra muthat ki ya dissolve to ba ya ji exist or lok sabha adugu rajya sabha ai bi the minor dissolve to ba ya ma ji sai gi permanent oina leiba adu ma ko gi legislature gi en wamani ai da ma saru wamani aduga Sagi president sizu yagi president ki fam sizu ko ki hanga le ya da the president American president is not a part of the legislature which is called Congress while the Indian president is an integral part of parliament aduna America ki system ga India ki system ga khenai adu ki kudam mai bu ngasai ki America ki presidency US ki presidency ngasai ki US ki Congress ai ba mo ki legislature ko Congress ai apna parliament ai US Congress ki para mo oi de American presidency Joe Biden ji oi ba US president ma American Congress ki saru mo oi adu India ki president oi ji koi gi matinu mu ji ma ri ke do ba India ki parliament ki saru mo oi but he cannot sit and participate in the deliberations in any of the two houses adu India ki presidency parliament ki saruk ama oiga su part and parcel of the parliament oiga su sai ke do parliament ki two houses lok sabha as well as rajya sabha ki magi koi sitting side are moi gi mifam wa khana nai na ko pasi ki kaino sings da koi deliberation sings da ma saruk ya later The president summons and prorogues the house from one session to another and has the power to dissolve the Lok Sabha. Now, president ki powers is to si manusana yengba kanda parliament ki laiba ko ki magi structural kanos da jagi president na kaido ba Lok Sabha Rajya Sabha moi singa sai ki kaya ni ko ki summon to was minor no sitting ama kano to da ya session ama kano to da ya da mana kangalakanda magi site gi adumana kan to yai natragana akhoi uji laiba session ama sathaiba session ama mana ngasai ke doba akhoi lefen ba dar prorogue to bo discontinue to han yai azagi atopa mana president da yawa power si magi power si na ganda lok sabha ai ba akhoi house of the people sing ngasai masi dissolve to yai masi mothati yai president ma di power le Adubu president Rajya Sabha dissolve to a bill cannot become law without president's assent even though the bill may be passed by both the houses. Adagi president ki yamna akhana ba ma gi power ma haiga di India ki parliament ki provisions ibada masai ki bill lama ki both Rajya Sabha and Lok Sabha na pass aura ga su masai ki madu ki bill lo ek one ba kanda ki president ki ayawa ma gi signature sang my assent adana president na my assent pi dragadi Lok Sabha Rajya Sabha na pass aura bill si sagi law one bangam da. The president also has the power to promulgate ordinances when both houses are not in session. These ordinances, though temporary in nature, have the same force and the power as a law passed by Parliament. Adagi yamna interesting way ba mana sagi yagi union gi kanosida hogi legislature gi framework sida president na sai kayumba Lok Sabha Rajya Sabha gi like Lok Sabha Rajya Sabha ani maksing sai gi moi session manung nataba matamda kaigumba khanna ba film kharadagi leba nga ko gi Lebaksigi law and order gi karigi fibam sida kudong sa na ba ko gi ordinance side na president gi akanaba ko magi tawung ba da magi power si seasonal ga na mana ordinance sanan mangam same at high ordinance temporary gi Wairagasu maze ko same force and power as a law passed by parliament. Parliament pass over law sa manana magi kanos. Sanaga neba president na promulgate of ordinance. And the machine is like president gi magi power sing mark the ko. Ayagi akana ma. Asi article 85 111 and 123 sige makada sige power si president exercise tawi. Lok Sabha gi wafam da people of the country directly elect members of the lower house. Lok Sabha is lower house in the India context. Upper house na rise Sabha. It includes not more than 530 members chosen by direct election from territorial constituencies in the states and not more than 20 members to represent the union territories. Lok Sabha is the representative Lok Abasi Miyam Sabha Miyam forum Lok Sabha simple translation directly any democratic functioning that participate was kudong sadaba maging space ki karigi population is our like true representatives system indirect democracy the system de makada the one miam jina mogi musing je khalle ba directly electorate the both are they akui na pagi Manipur da pagi Lok Sabha gi election tawre adai da koi ngasai ye pa miam jing thoga electoral role san sing na koi both are they madu ni koi na sai gi Manipur gi Lok Sabha gi MP khana na ba koi na both are they ko adana haiba apun masing je pagi 530 the give helo the Masing as I direct election Toraga, territorial constituencies in the Manipur context of Lok Sabha, the MP and Amana inner parliamentary constituency area and outer parliamentary constituency area, higher constituency, and is the board of Hipa. I therefore Lok Sabha, the MP and level. Aduga Asagi Union territories in the Wainadi, Sagi, the one members in say. President may nominate 2 members of the Anglo-Indian community. In his opinion, the community is not adequately represented in the Lok Sabha. President power President powers in President Anglo-Indian community Anglo-Indian community missing the British rule yani saru amoina remnant amoina lehoba adugumba cross cultural marriage tagi thorak palugumba community ama khani maikoi interest maikoi communities bu hena yaifaba monda gena tona balenga pagi gena sida maikoi afaba wakalon sing aninga pama fondo sana wizamakta Anglo-Indian community ani president na moise karigumba Azana haiba Lok Sabha da represent tawdre mogi missing je yamjadam ina moise mogi mihut khanba ngamdre hai wakhan monda aning ba power leraga di president na moyani khanba ngamagi demos power president lai distribution of seats among the state is based on the principle of territorial representation, which means each state is allotted seats on the basis of its population in proportion to the total population of all the states. Adana ngasai am interesting where you see state singda ngasai Lok Sabha da pagi se Manipur da gi akoi MP manga ohen gi habject yade koi huji paw da Lok Sabha da MP koi ani katani koi na thawi ai si ngasai masi kai na kan ngasai principle of territorial representation gi makha da state amada mai allotted to seats Manipur state ki population gi size ga apun ba states myan India gi states myan gi population gi keno siga koi holak bakan dang asai magi khaidor pai da Manipur state ta sakthum Lok Sabha gi wena MP seat kya pibe ya bi na holak bakan MP ani bukti pibe ya ya na koi tampaki area kraga koi sing area kraga sing area as a song around the way outer parliamentary had an ama form of inner had an ama I am a valley area single. See for Salaganda Amagato. My don't know if shit any funny. His state is divided into territorial units called constituencies, which are more or less of the same size in terms of the population. State city manung to the constituencies, parliamentary constituencies, inner and outer Manipuri the Kairako. The Masi, some other population, Matagasu Sarakpa, Manarap Tower population size, the Torgana by NPM, Tambayuani by the constituency. Members of Lok Sabha are elected on the basis of the adult franchise. Every adult who has attained 18 years of age is eligible to vote. The tenure is 5 years, however, it can be dissolved earlier by the president. Adana Saigi Lok Sabha members in C adult franchise and Sahi Trampan Suraba voter rights exercise the way another electoral role Salava. New Kadimana Sahi vote Hadaraganda Kanmani Hariba members of Lok Sabha MPC Magi office the Legatava Magi Genosi Tenure C Sahi Mangani the Buhari but Sahi Mangazing Sahi Pegumba President Pagi Lok Sabha dissolved or Madigi Sahi Manga shooting them to Sun give a Tareko, never known election to Canal. To be a member of Lok Sabha, a person should be the citizen of India and must have completed 25 years of age, plus all other qualifications that are prescribed by the law. And now Lok Sabha member amo oigi haragadi hariba miyo edu India citizen oigadabani aduga loina masagi sahi kumangadi sugadabani plus atotopa oigi qualifications for criminal activities amamada sena da report about the wakan mentally sound oigo padu da no oigi magi nevasigi Lona Bayiko, Lumakara, my eligibility criteria, do man fulfill over me or whatever. A candidate is free to contest from any parliamentary constituency in any states in India. And the Sigi am interesting way Zagi candidate amana, I the board level of Mio Mana, Mana Yagi, any atopa state key constituency, Amadagi hector board level. Liberty I told the Makani Karo have the Makapoli. Aina ngasi say West Bengal, the military UP, the parliamentary said a mother I bolded K Harakat. I think would be a constitutional do you can do a person cannot be a member of both houses of the parliament. A candidate may contest from several seats but can have only one seat according to his choice despite being elected from more than one seat. Adana kitang hena kuptaraganda Mio Mana Parliament House Animaki member of the Havadi I Rai Sabadazu, Lok Sabadazu, Animal MP Viade, Lok Sabah or the Rai Sabada or the Rai Sabah or the Lok Sabah, the Amadi Kangadavani, Animal Viade Havani, Aduga. Candidate Amana, Sagi both say, Tonga said Mamlagi, Mana, fight away, contest away. Adubu, Masagi Mana. Kayani bagi constituency ani humda board karagasu marga represent the parliament amakatana sida amakatama payani aduga atai do masa in the if a person is elected from both state legislature and parliament and if he does not resign from state legislature within the defined time period he will forfeit his seat in parliament adaya to pamna kanaguma miyo ma mazeng saigi state ki legislature the su parliament su ani makta khanjala Aduga Loina Aduga Roina Namazna Kaigumba, state legislators, the Kigamba Mari, Pyro from the resign Todra within a defined time period. Masai Mari Sibuki Matam Sida Haidana Mana, P. Women the Mana resigned of the target, Parliamengi Mana, but Karagazu, MPU, Tadogan, forfeit over. Sinning as I give a Lepadi, but MLA Moina. Minister Mogoy and Manipuri, Education Minister, by Honorable Education Minister, by Amazon Basanuma Madam, Cabinet Minister, Pai Nadum, by MP, Lok Sabha MP, Board Lepinatra, Adomasai Manaka, Makara, Sagi Sumba, Matamkari Manunda Magi, Tadoka. A member should not hold any office or profit under central or state government except those that are exempted by law of parliament and should not have been declared as an insolvent or of unsound mind by a competent court. adana ngasai haiba MP waiba mioi amana atopa office of profit under central or state government ni makada natraga central government ni makada laiba wagi kayani wagi thabam da tawe ade aida sahi tolob sab thabak haidare adu tawe ade except those that are exempted by a law of parliament and should not have been declared as an insolvent or by sound mind by a competent court aiba mana office atopa paiba yaba khalai law na yaba da exempt taw parliament na yaba SC sigum office we tadi ma office to be office bearer or na dum MP ori ya have conditions khalai aduga loina laina ngasai hariba miyoisi magi wakan pumingi kayani wagi anaba laita ba dare ko normal person oi ba du mi oigadamni haidana ngasai competent court ki site gi piba kayani by certificate to ma the declaration ma minus sang ni haidana tham disqualifications from membership when he remains absent from the sessions of the house of 60 days without prior permission or when he voluntarily acquires the citizenship of another country or is under any acknowledgement of allegiance to a foreign state ko aduna asagi lok sabha gi member oiba mioema asagi magi phamdu dagi disqualify toba mabu tabak tu dagi lothopagi ofam ji lakpasi kam matana lapya heba kanda ko remains absent from the sessions of the house of 60 days without prior permission hanana mangjauna na ko gi ayaba niraga ma sumai tawna kai ma na ba da kai ma thaba khara da sessions ko gi 60 days gi session si sule left na ma sna yawraktra hanana ayaba lawraga natabada ko namda da kai ma haida ba ma na 60 days session ji so yawba laktra ai da ma disqualify da natraga na mana masana yazana atopa leba amagi citizenship mana lawra habdi india gi citizen amani haidana ngasagi MP webada ngasagi magi eligibility criteria da lege ko he should be a citizen of the country and should have reached the age of 25 years of age in the pan adugi citizenship of india do madu paina natraga madu ke no tawga atopa leba amagi citizenship mana lawsalura adi da ma disqualify da adu natragasu kaiguma mana indiagi citizen amagi role di lawraga mana bolet na khodana parliament da pagi member oiragasu kaiguma magi uni wakan ni kaino si pagi allegiance abadi mana ngasagi lupsaba magi kayani ba yazabasina atopa foreign state ka amada mana adugi mission ngomda hagadra magi lebang ning bagi kaino se India da laitra topa lebak igeno lowena ningbo taraga di madu i condition du igeno stasu MP du masagi disqualify to wi ai rai sabagi wafamda hoji masagi lok sabagi mission ko rai sabagi wafamda rai sabha or council of states na kedawa is the house of representatives of the states masai lok sabha na miyam gi representatives magi constituency khaido ganda madagi miyamna bothara represent tawro haidana tharaga damaina parliament gi lok sabha da phamaga afabata tathok tasin tawna bani rai sabha jana muke do state ki representative boy by the Manipur state ki representatives na hoji pawla na di Manipur gi rai sabha da koi sit amadagi hena khangge ba kai gumba kamna koi gi nominated and over give I magi tongan ba koi exceptional contribution to certain fields for say medical moina kai sports kai da koi humus type da adu bu ji pawlo na de koi allotted se rai sabha da koi representative among some phangi it consists of not more than 250 members out of which 12 members are nominated by the president from amongst person having special knowledge or practical experience in literature science art and social service rai sabha gi apun ba se chani yankai dagi yeloi da bani haru wafam ma thame aduga loina hai ba chani yankai ji manungda member trying to madi rai sabha gi MP trying to madi president of India jana mana nominator magi aning pam magi makhada mana khanba ida kana no karama myosim oigada gi haganda special persons having special knowledge or practical experience in literature science art and social service हाइबसिंग जिमंगदा फगी माना करपिंग ना पीरगसु अतोतोबा फिल्म याम अदम चंदनी से लिटरेचर की फील्ड दा यामना एक्सेप्शनल कंट्रीब्यूशन पीबा नगी साइंस की हिरमदा आर्ट की हिरमदा नगी सोशल सर्विस की हिरमदा फगी यानी लेबाक सिगी वेबा सिंथानिंगा वेबा थबक तौरबा दुगुंबा मसक नायबा मियोइदा प्रेसिडेंट इकाई खुनु युवइना कोइ खंगलगा एमपी वहन याय राइसमा. The remaining members are elected by the members of the state legislative assemblies on the basis of the population of the state. The president nominate over member trying to remaining members of the Rajya Sabha state legislative assembly population basis the state legislative assembly na vote hadana kanda the mine khangaro. Adana Rajya Sabha MP khandagi system ziga Lok Sabha ki MP committee system ziga khara khene na adu khena budan. Unlike Lok Sabha, it adopts the method of indirect election. Lok Sabha ki na direct election everything as I miyam na electoral roll the means alaba voters na vote hadaraga ma apam MP go ki Lok Sabha ki ma kahanji ayana ko vote hadaraga na direct election or aduga Rajya Sabha ki na indirect election to we have everything as I akoina vote hadaraga khangraba ko members of legislative assembly MLA adana ko Manipur state ki legislative assembly da ko total 66 lai ko haiba 66 na moina kelowa moina moise ko miyam na vote hadabani vote hadara khanbani adu Rajya Sabha ki matang di miyam na dare vote hadada bida haiba miyam na vote hadara khangi ba MLA composi bi moina election da ga na sai Rajya Sabha ki MP khangelo. There is no uniformity in the members of representatives of the Council of States. It largely depends on the population of the state. The state with larger population has more representative in the House. For example, Nagaland has 1 member while UP has 34 members in Rajya Sabha. Like the members of the representatives of the Council of States uniformity like that. USA की context दी कहते हुआ United States of America इधर इमागी Senate इधर नाम मागी लाइबा bodies इधर USA की state खुद इमागी member अनिनी चा मारना uniformity ये मदा मागी representative अदुबु India की Rajya Sabha है बागी Council of States की कहना उसे दी bodies इधर दी state India की लाइबा state में आंसर की मागी सब माना बा MP खंडे population की size ये खंडे adana asauba missing yam state kina representatives yami aduga apikpa missing yam state kina pagi missing yam de MP Rajya Sabha MP je adugi ni Manipur na ngasi ba Rajya Sabha de MP amada yana thawa gam population yam adana high system si ngasai gi missing yam bagi kenosina pagi decisive role ama laura gadi pagi missing yam de ngai si pagi tuhat pi ba natraga mai koi aning ba pa ma ji koi nam hat pi bagi akiba man layer panina ngasai ke dore ngasi de Manipur da su pagi missing yam de yadre ma democracy is all about number game mai bagi pura ma lai ko adana masi di kenosi pagi kitang koi mun na yengsen su summi ai dare ko man di population explosion so koi pam de missing ka hena hem so koi laba ki on awa su bi ai ngasai labor limited resource kai kras da adu bu ngasai ki power ki kari ki magi influence yenga kana mo apik state missing yam da mangai singa sai magi MP sing masing yam da na asoba missing yam state sing diga yenga propaganda pagi pen da ba kya ma lai se masi ken wo ma paina naina ba dum yai. The Council of States thus reflect the federal character of representing the states or the units of the federations. Adana Council of States ki ken osina mo India ki magi quasi federal ki system haidare ko pagi federal ki magi union list state list concurrent list kind of power sharing ki cost union state ki relations ki kai match da pagi federal ki oiba sawong saktam mama yawazi asida khara makai sai contribute or Council of States na maram di magi states ki representatives pagi khallaga parliament ki in order ko pagi house das mana thambasna. It is a continuing chamber as it is a permanent body not subject to dissolution. 1/3 of its members retire at the end of every 2 years and elections are held for the vacant positions. Then high bus chamber, Rajya Sabha chamber city unlike Lok Sabha, the permanent body dissolved to never subject to dissolution. aduna ngasai ma adum continuing body amani 1/3 of his members retire at the end of every 2 years sahi ani kudingi loishalakpada Raya Sabha gi apunba setugi saru hum thopagi amadi adum magi tenure se loi kan retirement adum sakidona aduga mun no mu khalakane ba haiba one part gi ko aduga hang ba se singdo adum mention by that zagi not more than 250 sitsai adugu 1/3 members say ani gi matung kudingi rotation aina magi tenure loi kan adum retire to ba aduga hang ba se to mu bot to mention haibadi since myamse at one time loi vacant with so yalo ma adum continue with body mo ina thamme ba adugi ni ma si dissolve to busi ade continuous way ba no mo body mo way ba special powers of Raya Sabha gi akhanna ba magi power sing pa mana to ngam ba akhanna ba magi power sing se kaino yang si Raya Sabha enjoys certain special powers granted by the constitution. It has every right to seek information on all matters which are exclusively in the domain of Lok Sabha. Raya Sabha sigi magi akhanna ba constitution na piba powers gi manung chanbada mana karigumba maru ena khanba wafam singda mana Lok Sabha gi magi Lok Sabha gi domain Lok Sabha gi magi kayani mathau mangan singi manung channa leiba oirasu any sesang information mails mana for the PU haidana mana kokhatanga magi power se Raya Sabha dai. It has no power to pass a vote of no confidence in the Council of Ministers. It also does not have much influence on the matters of money bill. And seasona bagi no confidence motion passed over bagi matang aduga money bill gi matang idani ba magi influence to ngamba bagi ba. Raya Sabha enjoys two exclusive powers. First, under Article 249, it has power to pass a resolution by a majority of no less than 2/3 of the members present and voting, declaring that it is necessary or expedient in the national interest. Atopa exclusive powers ani je aham bagida Article 249 ni makada kedo. It has power to pass a resolution by a majority of not less than 2/3 of the members present and voting. Leibak segi national interest ki yengakanda masi tawdaba yadabani haidana tawdaba yadabani haibagi yeng makha sadaida Article 249 gi makhada Raya Sabha na kaidoba magi 2/3 members saru ahum thopagi ani present oigadaba session jida aduga vote su thadagadaba ko Madamina Toraganda resolution passed the woman power level. National interest ki wafam na. The matter in such resolution should belong to the state list. The law passed on the matter in the resolution shall be valid for 1 year. Then high ba Raya Sabha gi 2/3 members present and voting Toraganda resolution passed or is there karamba matang dal dai ha kan bagi state list yawa magi item things. Concurrent list ki na state list yawa state ki power singi manung yuda kaigumba national interest ki wafam na koigi hena maru paisale masi akoi tawdaba yadre agadi state jo koi supersede tawbam na Raya Sabha na my 2/3 members present and voting the resolution lawra ko adu mai tawganda resolution lawra semai ba laws na kedawa 1 year validity lay sahi amai. Second, Article 312 ko it provides special power to the Raya Sabha to pass a resolution on another matter, that is to create one or more All India services. The All India services like Indian Public Service Commission, Indian Administrative Service, Indian Police Service, the Indian Revenue Service, Indian Foreign Service, Indian Postal Service, kind of All India service. Labor means data. All India service. No na semazi habi wafam mamala paganda. Article 312 na Raya Sabha the special power to be like the resolution to be passed under Article 249 under Article 312 also the resolution should be passed by 2/3 of members present and voting in the House. Samana Article animaxina iba power se Raya Sabha gi masi exercise to ga di mana resolution logo kanda Raya Sabha gi 2/3 members present and voting with the resolution do is another yadi. Its compact composition and permanent character provides continuity and stability in the system. In the Indian Parliament, the President ki part sema sit hangasway adre President ki mathau mangamje President Taraga Vice President and Pune Natra. adana ngasai president ki position ji ma vacant so with at the same time Rajya Sabha ki magi one third sahi ani ki tenure ko ding magi kaino sidai da rotation aina retire to haraga su magi lemori bungai de dum hang dana dum thamakanda Rajya Sabha as a body ngasai ki dum ma je continuous with my permanent character ma dum thamis ne ko gi mod banai da ko no mo ne ko. The presiding officers. Lok Sabha has a speaker as its principal presiding officer and a deputy speaker to assist him, and he acts as presiding officer in the absence of the speaker. Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, moi presiding officers in like other Lok Sabha is the magi speakers na principal presiding officer where the deputy speaker amana magi mating when na balay aduga kayani kaygumba speakers ina Lok Sabha speakers ina masang amdagi na traga asin bathabaka lagi action or bakanda deputy speakers na magi mohsilaga thabak tawar. The Rajya Sabha is presided by the chairperson assisted by a deputy chairperson. The latter performs all the duties and functions of the former in case of his or her absence. So, examana Lok Sabha dana speaker hire aduga Rajya Sabha dana chairperson hire presiding officers aduga mabu assist or ibuzna deputy chairperson hire admai tawna samana na my presiding officers se ko Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha is mine later. The Speaker of the Lok Sabha. The office of the Speaker is a symbol of high dignity and authority. Once elected to the office, the Speaker does not have affiliation to any party but works in an impartial manner. He acts as the guardian of the rights and privileges of the members. Adana office of the Speaker is yamna kayani bagi kai khumna ningai oiba ko yam masak nai ba dugumba thammamu oiba da. The maze once office magi speaker gi roles the maze khallaba matung da dike do speakers in asagi my political party adu the ID BJP ni Congress ki ni the CPI ni adu ni adani no ma highway ar maze asagi isem kai na da impartial oibo ko adu maze na asagi members khudimaki magi rights and privileges masibu nga na ba madu soi da ngam da na ko senaba adu ma guardian mo ira ga mana thabak to na house in. The Speaker has the power to ensure an orderly and efficient conduct of the proceedings of the House. He or she conducts the proceedings of the House, maintains order and decorum in the House, and decides points of order, interprets and applies rules of the House. The Speaker's decision is final in all such matters. And the Speaker's role, I'm sorry, Mama Todisi, House Suda Mayam, Pulaga Wakana, and resolution passed over the Kari bill in Amsita or Uganda, Mayamsi, so the Nanda New Sumna. Arana soya na tabak maka num sathan bagi sinlang ba mai maroina dagi ngasai gi discipline kai gram mai gi tobom topam yam du ko kangon sumna tawba kangon kanam sumna tawba aduga punamaksi kayani bagi this speakers in a lot of warepna final way any pathola ba mama tawba kan house. The Speaker certifies whether a bill is money bill or not, and he or she also authenticates that the House has passed the bill before it is presented to other House or President of India for his assent. The Speaker, in consultation with the Leader of the House, determines the order of business. He also decides on the acceptability of questions, motions, and resolutions. The Speaker does not vote in the first instance but can exercise a casting vote in case of a tie. Speakers in a bill lamabu, sagi move to robukanda, masi money bill la, normal bill la kaino, general libera. I'm a symbol can mana masaktai certified away. Aduga loina authenticates that the House has passed the bill before it is presented to other House or President of India for his assent. Sagi Lok Sabha speakers in a Lok Sabha na bill lama passed auraga. Madu taurabra taudibra abigi asumba authentication thing as I speakers in a PU. However, Lok Sabha na passed over bill C Rajya Sabha da mu langkat ki Natragana House Animana passed over bill where the President Ayava extend loan of a picket paganda, Madu House Animana unanimously passed over bill Navi and authentication to my certifications, speakers not aware, my signs Yawad. The Speaker, in consultation with the Leader of the House, determines the order of business. Speakers in a more labor, the House of the Leader of the House, Siga Tanara Gandang, Zagi, Magi. Session sing the Tawada Tabak Toram Yanko, Namasai Kari Karama question, Hangan Bayava, the Kari motion resolution, adugi thabak thorom ma'am si paring nai na sathan na bagi kano si mana soba wari blow ada magi. The speaker does not vote in the first instance but can exercise the casting vote in case of a tie. Then house ta kai gumba ko gi vote hada na bajida speaker se am matam na ma si yaw adu kai gumba house da vote hana kana tai tho haibadi chamana na ko yes no vote si dai da yes ki zu 10 phangaba say for example ko yes ki ju 10 phangaba no ju 10 phangaba adai ta de magi sumaina tai je lai kana da speakers na magi vote se sizna ba ya mana sume khan masai de ma bota da re adu dun ngam mana. The speaker appoints the chairpersons of all the committees of the house and exercise control over the secretarial staff of the house ko magi appointment ki power ni chairpersons committee ki Lok Sabha ki parliament ki mai committee nyam le ko le Lok Sabha ki mai speakers na committee sing ki chairpersons khan ba kot ba le mai staff sing ki kare ki ko the speaker's conduct cannot be discussed in the house except in a substantive motion. His or her salary and allowances are charged to the consolidated fund of India. Mana phangiba tolo madagi allowance ke kamyam se koi consolidated fund of India ibis dagi ko daily lai aduga magi mathau ngam pangthopagi keno sidai da kana bamba karana koi wahang hangaga ju khut thangalaga su khuthila ga ju madu masai gi substantive oiba motion nama ko habi yamna sume wafam jima hak pa keno mo ere habagi keno mo yeng ma thamaganda motion je move toraba kanda khatada magi conduct se ko house ta kayani misang khai nai do maji matik chai cha de ha na sim su mo ko se khana nei na ba otherwise madu ko consider part ta one de ko. As special feature of the speaker's office is that even when the house is dissolved, the speaker does not vacate his office. He continues in office until the new house elects a new speaker. In the absence of the speaker, the deputy speaker presides the house. Adana ngasai interesting way ba kano maga magi momato ma hairaga di ngasai speaker ki office se kedoba house na Lok Sabha ji dissolve to ra phau da speaker ki office di mai fam ji hang ba ya de ma je dum office ta dum magi speaker ki position de dum leng lai kana ano house ano wa Lok Sabha ki kano bo ta da na ga mu khala je phau mai office de dum hinga lai kana speaker se ko aduga kai gumba ka anda speaker si absent oi ba kana deputy speaker na koi house to precise to musima mana su pan re ko Zingna Rajya Sabha ki chairperson ni magi ko Rajya Sabha ki chairperson si kamai to ya kanda the vice president of India is the ex official chairperson of Rajya Sabha. Vice president of India ki magi function magi power responsibility yang pan maze vice president is the ex official chairperson of Rajya Sabha ki. But during the period when he or she acts as president or discharges the functions of the president, he does not perform the duties as the presiding officer of the Rajya Sabha. The vice president kay gumba president laitaba matamda kay gumba mana president ki mathau mangam jing pangthoi kana di ma jige doba Rajya Sabha ki presiding officer in a function to ga vice president. The vice president is elected by the members of both the houses of parliament assembled at a joint meeting in accordance with the system of proportional representation by means of a single transferable vote, and the voting as such election is by secret ballot. Vice President khan bagi moni chi ngasai gi parliament gi house ani Lok Sabha Rajya Sabha gi punba joint meeting ama phamakanda madai da ngasai gi proportional representation gi kuthang da sai gi single transferable vote habse masi season kana secret ballot system da ko kana da vote pi na bi khangan da loan na thumna nam hoina thadariba ko sumaina taw kana vice president se khala. The vice president is not a member of either House of Parliament or a House of the Legislature of any state. Aduga vice president sing asai parliament ki Rajya Sabha ki Lok Sabha ki member amatu oiya de aduga state ki any state ki koi legislature ki ka member su oiya le. He holds office for a term of 5 years from the date on which he enters office or until he resigns or is removed from his office by a resolution passed by a majority of members of the Rajya Sabha and agreed by Lok Sabha. Say manga ki term ni mana resign to tribuna traga ma je thabak tagi koi lokthok tri bhawa ba. The functions and duties of the chairperson of Rajya Sabha are the same as those of the speaker of Lok Sabha ko. Rajya Sabha ki chairperson ki thamji mana toba mathau mangam si Lok Sabha ki speaker na toidoga dum manai happani. Legislative procedure legislative procedure है जिस तसेना है कि legislature है जिस legislation की थबक तो बनी law making नहीं आई दादी हुई law making की कैनोसे कमाइना law जे सेम गया जुनी को कहीं law making is the primary function of the legislature aduna ngasai gi union gi level dana parliament laire aduga state gi level dana koi gi Manipuri state legislative assembly ka koi lai bas maina sina ngasai gi koi law making kan oi duni ko body oi duni aduna law making is the primary function of the legislature gi mathau ji kai no ha ga di say members of the legislative assembly apana MLA has MLA ga ji kai ni na ta koina khalle bna ga na moina laibak si phajana niyom sumna lengak tana chokhat pa nungai ba tangdu laita ba ko hana suna ba yaw da ba ko dagi laibak ki lanto mayam ji phajana sena ba nuga masibu matik cha ba ko niyom sumna ngai gi miyam sinda yawan dana ko miyam gi yaifa punsi sengban na ba ai da re ko masida ko gi kanglon kanglam miyam si sem ba da ko gi moi ko ke thada na nam ne lo sem na ba ne ko na legislature sing ko na what other policy ko stages of legislation law assembly ma gi staging ni ko na marina stage hum lai ko na hamda first stage is the introduction of a bill which embodies the proposed law and is accompanied by the statement of objects and reasons. It is also called the first reading of the bill. Law semge haragadi hamda introduction of a bill law waiting da when passed out da koigi kedoba bill when move to gadamne bill moina introduce to one haiba bill sida sari koina koheningi ba law igeno se da yawarabuni ko adora madai da statement of objects and reasons ana ngasai kai gidamukta sigi law je sumba law ma koi sema mathau tarali bano kolebano masina kari kanahan gani kolan gani haibagi magi kayani explanatory part aida re ko madai valid reasons to madu piba adu su yawane keno introduction to and haiba introduction of the bills masigi first stage kai ko ga kana masibu first reading of the bill haina su khane man yana nas maina koi ano walo ma semasi have si mayam ji ma man koi patho khamena ba da aduna madu saigi introduction of the bill or first reading of the bill haina ko there are two types of bills ordinary bills and money bills ko bills saying as I ordinary haiba ma money bills haiba ma mai ani thona khaya ko a bill other than money or financial bill may be introduced in either house of parliament and requires passes in both houses before it can be presented for the president's assent. Money bill will be a bill other than money or financial bill money or financial bill natabo to ordinary bill bill se money bill ga financial bill ga jo khara khara di khena bani ko adabu sida man hai se money bill or financial bill natabo ordinary bill makhal ama may be introduced in either house of parliament right sabada webi lok sabada webi akoina sugumba law ma semaji haidana introduced to pa consider and requires passes in both houses before it can be presented for the president assent ko I ordinary bill si asagi house ani makta pass to wadam ne lok sabada su right sabada su president ki ayaba law na ba thadring before it can be presented for the president assent ko lok sabada pass to ga madu president ki assent law na ba hekta thaba ya lok sabada pass to right sabada thangakani masi khana biu masi pass to right sabada move to introduce to where madu lok sabada thangakani house ani maksina pass or bill si yare na khana ro matung da pass or si moina mu ke do ba sai man hai gre speaker gi kai yama ma gi aya ba jin loina authentication to matung da bai president da ma gi SNPBU masibu lo ego moina pass or ba aya PBU ai na thangkala kadam na a bill may be introduced either by a minister or a private member. Every bill that is introduced in the house has to be published in the gazette. Bill amaze kedoba kogi minister mana natraga private member mana kogi mas introduce to the house da ko suma bill ma pass to see yaida every bill that is introduced in the house has to be published in the gazette is a official ba kogi kayani some publication mani ko kogi matam ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯄꯨꯊꯣꯛꯄ ꯑꯗꯨꯒꯨꯝꯕ official ꯑꯣꯏꯕ ꯀꯩꯅꯣꯃꯅꯤ ꯃꯁꯤꯗꯩꯗ ꯀꯔꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯅꯤ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯒꯚꯔꯟꯃꯦꯟꯠꯁꯤꯅ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯄꯨꯈꯠꯂꯛꯄ ꯕꯤꯜꯁꯤꯡ ꯍꯥꯏꯇꯥꯔꯦ introduce ꯇꯧꯔꯛꯄ ꯕꯤꯜ ꯈꯨꯗꯤꯡꯃꯛꯁꯦ ꯃꯁꯤꯗ ꯐꯣꯡꯉꯦꯕ ꯒꯦꯖꯦꯠꯁꯤꯗꯀꯣ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ documentation record keeping ꯍꯥꯏꯇꯥꯔꯦ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏꯒꯤ ꯒꯦꯖꯦꯠꯇ ꯐꯣꯡꯉꯒ normally there is no debate at the time of introduction of a bill ꯑꯗ ꯉꯁꯥꯏꯒꯤ ꯑꯌꯥꯝꯕ ꯃꯇꯝꯗ ꯕꯤꯜ ꯑꯃ introduce ꯇꯧꯔꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯑꯩꯈꯣꯏ ꯗꯤꯕꯦꯠ ꯀꯩꯁꯨ ꯇꯧꯗꯦ ꯕꯤꯜꯁꯤꯒꯤ ꯃꯇꯥꯡꯗꯀꯣ ꯉꯁꯥꯏꯒꯤ ꯐꯥꯔꯁ ꯔꯤꯗꯤꯡ ꯇꯧꯏ ꯃꯌꯥꯝ ꯁꯤꯒꯨꯝꯕ ꯕꯤꯜ ꯑꯃ ꯄꯨꯈꯠꯂꯦ ꯍꯥꯏꯗꯅ ꯑꯗꯣ ꯃꯗꯨꯗ ꯌꯥꯝ ꯊꯣꯏꯗꯣꯛꯄ ꯗꯤꯕꯦꯠ ꯇꯧꯅꯗꯦ the member who introduced the bill may make a brief statement indicating both aims and objects of the bill ꯑꯗꯨꯕꯨ ꯍꯥꯏꯔꯤꯕ ꯕꯤꯜꯁꯤꯕꯨ introduce ꯇꯧꯔꯤꯕ ꯉꯁꯥꯏꯒꯤ ꯃꯤꯅꯤꯁꯇꯔ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ ꯌꯥꯏ ꯄ꯭ꯔꯥꯏꯚꯦꯠ ꯃꯦꯝꯕꯔ ꯑꯣꯏꯕ ꯌꯥꯏ ꯃꯥꯅ ꯕꯤꯜꯗ introduce ꯇꯧꯔꯛꯄ ꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯃꯥꯅ brief statement ꯑꯗꯩ ꯇꯦꯟꯇꯛꯄ ꯋꯥꯔꯣꯜ ꯑꯃꯗꯤ ꯃꯥꯅ ꯊꯝꯒꯅꯦꯕ ꯕꯤꯜꯁꯤꯅ ꯄꯥꯝꯃꯤꯁꯦ ꯀꯩꯅꯣ ꯃꯁꯤꯅ ꯑꯣꯏꯅ ꯄꯥꯁ ꯇꯧꯔꯀꯥꯟꯗ ꯃꯁꯤꯅ ꯀꯔꯤ ꯀꯥꯟꯅꯍꯟꯒꯅꯤ ꯍꯥꯏꯕꯁꯤ ꯃꯌꯥꯝꯅ ꯈꯪꯍꯟꯅꯕꯀꯣ ꯀꯟꯚꯤꯟꯁ ꯇꯧꯅꯕ ꯃꯥꯅ ꯑꯗꯨꯒꯤ ꯇꯦꯟꯇꯛꯄ ꯋꯥꯔꯣꯜ ꯑꯃꯗꯤ ꯃꯥꯅ ꯄꯤꯒꯅ If the bill is opposed at this stage, one of the members opposing the bill may be permitted to give his reasons. Karigumba introduce tauba kansida atopa member amana ko oppose tawra sigumba bill ama akhona khanaba mathau tade masi bill ji kanaroi sigumba law mathau tade na wire ama karigumba tawragadi mana bi wire to gisu asumarani ko phabatagi magi explanation pinabagi kudong sabal lai After this, the question is put to the vote. The bill introduced the vote. If the House is in favor of introduction of the bill, then it goes to the next stage. House the Lok Sabha Rajya Sabha House introduced the bill masi phai kana gani haidana moina yana ragadi. Next stage second stage. There are four alternative courses. First, after introduction of the bill, it may be taken into consideration. Second, it may be referred to a select committee of the House. Third, it may be referred to a joint committee of both the houses. And fourth, may be circulated for the purpose of soliciting public opinion. Second stage, first stage of introducing the bill alternative course. Second stage. Introduction of the bill maze mayandana khana baidare yana bagi kanoma maikay lab second dana masi belgium ta kharkum namda khana waidana moina select committee house gi select committee amada sinaraga madu yengsilanba ahum subadana haiba belgi joint committee of the two houses ko Rajya Sabha gi Lok Sabha gi apunba joint committee amada ngasagi refer to ganda bilsi inction view masi tawda kana gadra haidana adamaina pukatba ba aduga mari subadana ngasagi it may be circulated for the purpose of soliciting public opinion miyamna kari khali masi matang sta na khoi khana na ba khoi masi circulate tawba haidare ko The first three options are generally adopted in the case of routine legislation, while the last option is resorted to only when the proposed legislation is likely to arouse public controversy and agitation. Ahamagi bagi course ahum sidi ayam matamda loina season ayu. Say bill introduced or consider tauba select committee of the house the khanaba natragana joint committee of the two houses the refer to see ahum sidi adum sane adubu mari subagi public opinion solicite tawnaba bagi miyam da bagi lauthoka na khangalaganda miyamgi aninga pamba miyamgi wayet miyam se tabagi positive khara paana thokdebako ado masigumba se tawdabe ado matangsina karam kanda na kanda haiba bill si pass tawbu kanda miyamda leba miyamna soba kayani irang horakadawa ko penda phondong akadawa lebagi akiba sinaba leba matanga di bill du the minor public da bagi circulate tawkanda my public opinion yeng have The day one of this motion is carried out, the principles of the bill and its general provisions may be discussed. If the bill is taken into consideration, amendments to the bill and a clause-by-clause consideration of the provisions of the bill is undertaken. Adana bill do consider to wait at the bill jugi another year about provisions in a proper kaida kaishan clause by clause If the bill is referred to the select committee of the House, it considers the bill and submits its report to the House. The select committee the refer to select committee the House report submit. Then the clauses of the bill are open to consideration and amendments are admissible. This is the most time-consuming stage. Once the clause-by-clause consideration is over and every clause is voted, the second reading of the bill comes to an end. And a clause-by-clause bill is going to be paragraph 9 and the simdukadaba khokadaba yamsi loina lawra matungda mai tawkanda ngasai both hadana kanda second reading of the bill se loishalaba aduna masigi oinadi sidaida khoi smaina loishalaji ka masigi makha tabada masigi legislature gi pass ya yam sangmanina next class amaga no tawgo khoi daka lei aduna masi phawi oinadi sigi keno sida thank you.